Okay, today I have a nice guy who wants to be the, how do you say, my bunny. We are going to try to show you some exercises how we can activate, especially up here between the shoulder blades. This is called rhomboids. Also, how we can try to get our shoulder blades to move on the right way. When we get our shoulder blades to move on the right way, we get from this position to this position. So we open up the chest. Because the problem with this is a lot of times we are too weak on the back side and we are too tight on the front side. So, relax. If we look at Carlos here, he is a nice looking guy, there's not so many problems. But let's imagine now he's been at the job, his shoulders are forward, his head is here. Just turn that you see him from the side. So he's like this. I think you all know and have all seen this posture. Some of you probably even have it at home without knowing it. What can we do to release this pain? And not release the pain, to get back in the position where the body should be, which hopefully should reduce your pain. The first thing we always do, or I always do, is I take the person, put them on the wall, like this. From here, I always say I want a long neck. If they don't know how to do it, I put them myself like this. Now you see his neck is in alignment as much as possible with his back. His shoulders are still forward. Then we take the arms, 90 degrees in the ankle and the elbows into the wall. Now just by doing this, as you see, Carlos' shoulders starts to go a little bit back. They are still not back where we want them. Then what I want, very, very slowly and very controlled movements, I want Carlos to outward rotate his arms in something like 45 degrees in his elbow joint. When we are here in perfect situation, he would be capable of getting his wrist into the wall. Not so many people can do that. This is something that normally takes quite a long time. Now when Carlos is here, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated to do it at home, I put my hands on the back of the shoulders to help him to feel what it is that I want. What I want his body and his brain to start to understand. Because all movements comes from the brain. So, now we have Carlos here, we have the long neck. Now I tell Carlos to do this outward rotation of his hands. At the same time, I put my hands on the shoulder blades. I don't do any more clues. So now, outward rotation, and I press his shoulder blades down together. Then I want him to come forward again. Here. We do it one more time. Try to get his body to understand what it is we want to happen. Then we go back again. We still want him to try to be as released as possible up in his trap here on top of the shoulders. Still, head in, back, not like that, normal posture in the back. And we go again, slowly rotation outwards. At the same time, I push his shoulder blades down. Come back out. Now, when I feel that he starts to understand what is happening here, I ask him to, when he comes from here, when he comes out in this position, I want him to stretch his elbows out like this. Normally, I call it like Jesus on the cross. So, we are here. Again, I put my hands on his shoulder blades. Slowly outward rotation. I'm pushing his shoulder blades down. Now I want him to slowly stretch out his hands. I'm still holding his shoulder blades as long as he can. There, we hold it for 2 seconds. 1, 2, now Carlos comes back. And I'm slowly moving his shoulder blades back forward. Good, we go again. Still the long neck, everything. Come on, push the shoulder blades together. Good, now out with the hands. Coming back in. and forward again. Now I want Carlos to try to move his shoulder blades by himself, so focus about this, but I want him to focus about it in the movement of his hands. So not that he do like this and then move out. This is not what we want. Ready? Try by yourself. Shoulder blades, come, push these shoulder blades down and together. There, now he goes out, he holds this position. Coming back. Back down and forward. This, the same starting of the movement, we also do that we get the hands up overhead. This is like, how can you say, next step, because I want when people do this and this, still that they try for as long as possible to keep the upper traps relaxed. Okay? So again, here, relax. Now go outwards, 45 like before, as long as you can. Keep your head into the wall. Good, and now you try to slowly move your hands overhead. Good, slowly back down. Good, and come forward. Like this. We do one more time. Now again, I want Carlos to feel in his body what is happening. Because one thing is that I'm pushing his shoulder blades back in position, but that will not help him in long terms, because it's his head that needs to understand this movement and what is the right posture. We try again. There, and come up. Good, coming back. And forward. Good, relax a little bit. Why am I doing this on the wall? It's simple, and why am I helping him with the hands? First of all, when it's on the wall, he can feel himself a little bit what is happening with his shoulder blades. Because if I just stand here, and I want to do it by myself, I look like this, I can still do this, but my shoulders are still in the same position. I don't get the feeling of being upright and in alignment. And this is what we want, to try to keep the rhomboids activated back in this position. Cut.